If you read this question states the ratio between the exterior angle and the interior angle of a regular polygon is 1:5. Find, and you have three questions there. Okay, first question is measure of each exterior angle. Second question is the measure of each interior angle. And third question is number of sides in the polygon. Okay, so now the each exterior angle and interior angle, what is the ratio? 1:5. So I can take the exterior and the interior angle. See, first exterior angle is mentioned, and then you have interior angle, and the ratio is 1:5. So I can take, let each exterior angle and each interior angle be, since the ratio is 1:5, you can take this as x and 5x respectively. Right? So each exterior angle is x, each interior angle is 5x. So what do you know from formula number 3? Each exterior angle,
So 180 degree.
yes, sum of these two must be equal to 180 degree. Each exterior angle plus each interior angle must be equal to 180. What are the values? Interior angle is 5x. So let me write this as exterior angle. Exterior angle is x and interior angle is 5x, equal to 180. Now you can solve this equation. 6x is equal to 180. That means x is equal to 180 by 6. That means x must be equal to 30. Right? So you've got the value of x. Therefore, what is the first question? Find the measure of each exterior angle. Therefore, this is, let's say, number 1. Each exterior angle what is the measure of each exterior angle we have taken? X,
30 degree.
which is equal to 30 degree. Second question is each interior angle. Each interior angle is equal to, we have taken each interior angle to be 5x, which is equal
30
to
into 5,
5x.
150.
Yes, 5 into 30, which is equal to 150 degree. So each interior angle is 150 degree. And finally, you have the question to find the number of sides of the polygon. What is the relation between exterior angle and number of sides? From formula number 4, each exterior angle must be equal to 360 divided by number of sides.
Sides.
Right? So now you put the value, each exterior angle we have found how much? 30 degree. 30 is equal to 360 divided by n. That means 30n must be equal to 360, cross multiplication. That means n must be equal to 360 divided by 30.
12.
And cancel this 0.
So
So
12.
n is equal to 12 sides. Okay, that answers all your questions, first, second, and third. Okay. Now we move on to the last problem. Number 16. Question is, each interior angle of a regular polygon is double its exterior angle. Find the number of sides of the polygon. Okay, now if each exterior interior angle is double its exterior angle, if I say let the exterior angle be x, then what should be each interior angle?
2x.
2x. I say let each exterior angle of the regular polygon be x. Therefore, each interior angle is equal to 2x. Now we know each exterior angle plus each interior angle must be equal to 360. So we can solve for x. So each exterior angle plus each interior angle must be equal to 360. Each exterior angle we have taken as x. Interior angle we have taken as 2x is equal to 360. Now we solve this equation. You get 3x is equal to 360. Means you get x is equal to 360 divided by 3. That means you get x is equal to 120 degree. Okay. Now the question
Sir,
is
it
not
will
to
be 180, sir. Not, sir, it will be 180.
180. 360 by 3 is 120.
Yes, sir.
This is okay. You know how to divide, right? 360 divided by 3 is 120, not 180.
Yes,
No,
sir,
sir, it's
120.
right.
Yes, sir, it's right.
Now the question here is not to find out the exterior angle, not to find out the interior angle. The question here is to find out the number of sides. And what is the relation between number of sides and an exterior angle? So we only find out exterior angle. What is each exterior angle? Each exterior angle we have taken as x, which is equal to 120, right? And what is the relation between each exterior angle number of sides? Each exterior angle is equal to 360 divided by n, right? We have found each exterior angle to be 120 is equal to 360 divided by n. Cross multiply, you get 120n is equal to 360. Means you get n is equal to 360 divided by 120. Cancel this. 3. So n is equal to 3. So number of sides is equal to 3. What kind of a polygon is it?
Triangle.
Triangle.
It's a triangle.
Okay, so that completes our part on polygon. Now we start with the next most important part, which is quadrilaterals. That is what actually the chapter deals with. Okay, now first we shall understand how many types of quadrilaterals are there. There are many types of quadrilaterals. Okay, you understand this chart first. What are quadrilaterals? Quadrilaterals are four-sided polygons, right? Quadrilaterals. Now, quadrilaterals have been classified into three types. First is a parallelogram. Next is trapezium. And the third type of quadrilateral is a kite, sometimes also called as diamond. Okay, so majorly there are three types of quadrilaterals: parallelogram, trapezium, and kite. Now you will say that rhombus and squares are also quadrilaterals. Yes, they are special types of parallelograms. Under special types of parallelograms, you first have rhombus. Then you have rectangle. And then you have square. Okay, so these three are actually special types of parallelograms. Okay, all the properties of parallelograms, whatever we'll discuss, this will hold for all these three. Okay, so rectangle, rhombus is also a parallelogram, rectangle is also a parallelogram, square is also a parallelogram. Okay, but these quadrilaterals, trapezium and kite, they are different from parallelogram. Okay, but these are all parallelograms. Okay, so if you know parallelograms well, then your rectangle and square and rhombus, they become very easy for you. Okay, so first let us discuss the most important type of quadrilateral, which is parallelogram. We'll come to the other types of quadrilaterals later. Yes.
Sir, how does trapezium look?
Trapezium.
Yes, sir.
Okay, trapezium. Just because you asked, otherwise I will be discussing trapezium. Trapezium is a quadrilateral in which two sides are parallel, in which two opposite sides are parallel. Okay, so you draw two parallel sides, two parallel lines you draw, And then this is how a trapezium will look like.
Okay, sir. Thank you, sir.
Okay. So trapezium, remember, will always have two sides parallel, opposite sides. Any two sides will be parallel, not the other side. You see that these two are non-parallel sides. These two are parallel sides. This is also a parallel side. And these two are non-parallel sides. And this is also a non-parallel side. Okay. So any two sides. Okay. So trapezium, will come back to this later. And under trapezium, let me just mention this also, that under trapezium, there is a special kind of trapezium, which is called an isosceles trapezium. We'll discuss this also. Isosceles trapezium. Okay, this is a special type of a parallelogram. What kind of parallelogram? We'll see that when the two non-parallel sides that I showed you, if these two non-parallel sides are equal, then we call it an isosceles trapezium. But anyway, we'll come back to that a little later. First, let us discuss parallelograms. Let us understand the properties of parallelogram. Parallelogram. Understand the definition, learn up the definition. First type of parallelogram. And you can give your heading here also when you're writing quadrilaterals. Okay. Now, remember the definition, memorize the definition. Definition of a parallelogram is that a quadrilateral in which two opposite sides are parallel is called a parallelogram. A quadrilateral in which two opposite sides are parallel is called a parallelogram. And you know how to differentiate between adjacent and parallel side, opposite sides, right? I have already told you, right? So if I give you a quadrilateral, you can tell me which are the adjacent sides and which are the opposite sides. Okay, let me draw a parallelogram. This is how a parallelogram will look like. Okay. We call the vertices A, B, C, D. Okay. Now tell me which are the adjacent sides of this parallelogram. Yes.
So AD and BC.
AD and BC.
and BC are adjacent.
AD and BC
Yes,
are not
sir.
adjacent sides. AD and BC are opposite sides. These are the opposite
Sir,
sides.
AB and BD. Sorry, AC and BD.
Sir, AC and BD.
AB and BC. If you see, this side and this side are adjacent. Why? Because they share this vertex here, right? They have a common vertex, right? Similarly, which other two sides are adjacent? You can say this side and this side are adjacent because they have this vertex in common. They intersect at this vertex, these two straight lines. Next, what other sides are adjacent? This side and this side. These two are adjacent because they have this vertex D in common. Okay. What all others? What is the other side that is adjacent? This side and this side. This is also an adjacent side. These two because they have the vertex A in common. Clear with this? So these two are your opposite sides because these two are non-adjacent, therefore these two are opposite. This is also an opposite side. Okay. So a quadrilateral in which opposite sides are parallel. See, I've given the marking here of parallel. These two lines opposite sides are parallel, and therefore these two opposite sides are also parallel in case of a parallelogram. Remember this definition. Okay. Okay, once we know how a parallelogram looks like, we now come to the properties of parallelogram. You know the definition of parallelogram. You know how a parallelogram looks like. Next, we come to the properties. Properties you will have to remember and understand both. Properties of a parallelogram. Let's see what are the properties. First property is that the opposite sides of a parallelogram are equal. The opposite sides of a parallelogram you know the short form of writing a parallelogram. This is the way you write parallelogram. Two parallel lines this way and GM. The opposite sides of a parallelogram are equal. Okay. Now what does this mean? If you have ABCD as a parallelogram, and remember to label the vertices in this manner only. Okay. That is A, B, C, D, and then A. That means we are going in the which direction? Anti-clockwise direction, right? You know clockwise and anti-clockwise direction, all of you?
Yes, sir.
Okay, try to give the labels in this manner, always in the anti-clockwise direction. Okay. And even if you are giving in the clockwise direction, even that is right, but don't give it in any way you want. Okay, so whenever you are giving this, you say ABCD is a parallelogram. ABCD is a parallelogram. When you are answering your questions, always try to give this parallelogram in this manner, ABCD, either in the anti-clockwise clockwise manner, or you can give in the clockwise manner also. You can give it in this way also. You can give in this way also. This is clockwise. Okay, clear? So whichever way
Yes,
you are
sir.
giving it, you will call it ABCD as a parallelogram. Okay, so the property here is that if I give you ABCD to be a parallelogram, obviously these two will be parallel to opposite sides because it is a parallelogram. And this property will state that the length of this side AD must be equal to the length of this side BD. So AD is equal to BC. And the length of this side must be equal to the length of this side. And what can you say? AB is equal to DC. Okay. So remember, in a parallelogram, always the opposite sides will be equal. Okay. Let's see if we can do a problem from here. Look at this problem. In the given figure, find the perimeter of parallelogram PQRS. Find the perimeter. You know what is the perimeter? You know what is the perimeter?
Sir, sum of
Yes,
all
sir.
sides.
Yes, sum
Of
of the
all
length of
sides.
all the sides. Sum of the lengths of all the sides is called perimeter, or the sum of the length of the boundaries of any figure, any geometrical figure is called perimeter. Not only parallelogram, it can be rectangle, it can be pentagon also. If you know all the length of the sides of the pentagon, you can find out the perimeter of the pentagon by adding up the length of all the sides. This is the figure that is given to you in this question. Okay, and this length is given to you as 15 centimeters. This length is given to you as 7 centimeters. And you have to find out the perimeter of the parallelogram. So how do we start? So first of all, you say, since PQRS is a parallelogram, PQ, opposite sides must be equal. Therefore, PQ, we can take this side, PQ must be equal to SR. What is the length of PQ given? 15. So PQ and SR both are 15. This is 15. This must also be 15, right? Also, this side must be equal to this side. That means QR must be equal to PS must be equal to 7 centimeters. And what is the reason here? You will give you a reason for both. Opposite sides of a parallelogram are equal. We can write the short form of parallelogram also. When I'll be starting the problems, I'll be giving you the short form. I'll be writing the short form. For now, I'm writing the full one. Opposite sides of a parallelogram are equal. Right? So therefore, you got this as 7. So what is the perimeter of this parallelogram? Perimeter of parallelogram PQRS
So 15 into
is equal to sum of the boundaries. What is the boundaries? PQ is 1. This length PQ plus what is the other length? QR plus what is the other length? This SR. And what is the fourth length? PS. We have found all the lengths. Put the values.
Yes.
PQ is 15. QR is 7. SR is also SR equal to 15 also. 15 plus PS is also 7. So which is equal to 44
44.
centimeter. Okay. So that is what the that is how we use this property. Okay. So whenever a parallelogram is given, you must understand that the opposite sides of the parallelogram must be equal. This is the first property. Okay, let's move to the next
so
property.
we could use the formula to B.
Again, repeat your question.
So could we use the formula 2 into L plus B?
Yes, you can use, but that mostly we'll be using when we're doing mensuration. Okay, this was just to show you how to use the property. You can use that, no problem. Second property of parallelogram. The second property of parallelogram is that the opposite angles of a parallelogram are equal in measure, or let's say simply equal. The opposite angles. Okay, before discussing this property, there is one very important thing that I would like to discuss, which I forgot, is how to label angles. Okay, let us say I have an angle this way. Okay, then what do I call this angle? We can either call this angle B, right? But from now on, we'll not use this short form. This short form is called, this short form we'll not use. Okay, very, very rarely we'll use. Normally, when you have this kind of an angle, we either call this angle ABC. We keep B in the middle. Okay, because we are talking about this angle. So we call it angle ABC, or we can also call it angle CBA, as long as B is in the middle. You understand? So either we call it ABC, okay, or we call it CBA. Is this clear to everyone?
Yes, sir.
Okay. So just remember this notation. Okay. Whenever you are referring to angles, you will use this as our notation. Either if you are referring to this angle, then you'll call it ABC, or you can call it CBA. So if I give you a parallelogram, then how will you label the angles? Let's see. if I give you this parallelogram, what are the angles? Let us say angle A. What do we call angle A as? Angle A can be referred to as angle DAB, right? Or you can call it angle BAD, isn't it? Either way you can write. Angle B, what do we call it? Angle ABC, or we can call it angle CBA. Angle C, how do we write? Either we can call it angle BCD, or we can write this as angle DCB. See, I'm keeping C in the middle always. And angle D, what do I call it? This angle. What do I call it? Angle
Is
ADC
angle ADC
or
or angle CDA?
CDA. Okay, so mostly we'll be using all these in whatever we'll be discussing. Okay, we'll not be using these. Okay, now let's come to the next property. Okay, property number 2. The opposite angles of a parallelogram are equal. Now, what do you mean by this? Let's see what it means. You have a parallelogram. Now, first understand the concept of adjacent angles, and then we'll understand the concept of opposite angles. You see these two angles here, this angle and this angle. Both these angles, which side is common to these? AB, right? So we say that angle A and angle B are adjacent angles. Is it clear? Adjacent angles. What are the angles that are adjacent? Look at this angle, angle B and angle C. Which side is common to these two angles? This. Therefore, we say angle B and angle C are adjacent angles. Okay. Next, let us consider these two angles. This angle and this angle. These two angles have which side in common? This side is common, right? To these two angles. Therefore, we say angle C and angle D are adjacent angles. Which other angles are adjacent? Angle A and angle D, because they share this side. So therefore, angle D and angle A are adjacent angles. Is the concept of adjacent angles clear to everyone?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
If the angles are not adjacent, then they must be opposite angles. Two angles that are not adjacent are called opposite angles. So in this parallelogram, which ones are opposite angles? This angle and this angle. They are opposite angles. And this property states that in the parallelogram ABCD, angle A must be equal to angle C. Okay, because they are opposite angles. So if I give you the measure of this angle as say 60 degree, And then I ask you the measure of angle C. What should be? This should also be 60 degree, right? Because they must always be equal. Also, what are the other two angles that are opposite? Angle, this angle here, angle B is opposite to which other angle? Is opposite to this angle. So angle B is equal to angle D. So you see these two angles here, this angle is equal to this angle. These two angles must be equal, and these two angles must be equal in a parallelogram. You understood, everyone?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Okay.
Yes,
So
sir.
let's see if we can solve a problem on this. Okay, see this. In the given figure, in the given parallelogram, BEST, find the values of X, Y, and Z. Okay, and the given figure here is this. Okay, you need to find out the values of X, Y, and Z. Okay. So how do you find out? Solution. Now, whenever you are getting a geometry question, always try to redraw the diagram. Okay. I'm not drawing here, but you will draw in your answer scripts, you will draw the diagram. Okay. And then answer the questions. So see, first of all, let me draw it. I'll just take 2 seconds to draw. You'll redraw the diagram. Okay. Okay. So once we have drawn the diagram, now you want to find out the values of X, Y, and Z. This is why. So see, first of all, here, angle S must be equal to angle B. Why? Because opposite angles of a parallelogram are equal, right?
Yes, sir.
And what is angle S? Angle S is X. And what is angle B? 100. So we're getting the value of X as 100. So let's write it down here. Very lightly in pencil you will write, because you have already found this angle. Why you will write here? So that you know that this angle is 100 and you may use it in future. Okay. For your other questions. So this answers the first question. This is X. What about Z? How do you find out Z? See, if this angle is Z,
Sir, exterior angle is equal to 180 degrees.
yes. See, angle E here, angle E must be equal to angle T, right? Again, same reason, opposite angles
Yes, sir.
of a parallelogram are equal. So if this angle is Z, this angle must also be Z. Now, what do you know?
Sir, y
Tell
is
me.
equal to sir, y is equal to x.
Y is equal to X. Why should Y be equal to X? Tell me why. Tell me why. Y is
Sir,
not equal to
because
X. Tell me. Go ahead, give me your reason. I want to hear your reason.
Yes, sir, because y is looking same as x.
Though they may look same. We are not talking about looks. Looks are deceptive. Okay. A very good looking boy or a girl can be very bad human being also. So let's not go for looks. A very good looking angle can be very bad also. An angle can look like 80 degree, but it will be 20 degree. So let's not talk about looks. We are not drawing the figure according to our scale. Okay. So if I call this as 15 centimeters, this length, does it look like 15? It does not look like 15, right? So does not we always in geometry we always give properties and arguments. Okay, so we are running out of time. I'll complete this problem in the next class. Okay, try to go through the
Sir, I have
problem.
a doubt, sir.
Tell me.